set up very, very nicely with the maps that we have. It's very, very hard one to call, which usually means we get a good series. Any feelings one way or the other at this one, Chance? I think it's a difficult one to predict.
I mean, if I've been going off of like the Des predictions through the year, obviously they've been pretty consistent across the board, but like when there's differences, I lean towards Puckett, man. I think that Vegas might be a good call, but it is going to be a battle. Like, these are the types of series that I think are almost like underappreciated by the community just for how much could potentially be on the line. Like, both these teams, 2-1. The winner of this gets winner's bracket. You get your 10 CDL points, and like, these are your bubble teams for champs, and either one of these teams win it, they do cross that top 8 threshold. Obviously, plenty of Call of Duty left to be played, but these are the guys that have to get after it.
100%. Some games are a lot more winnable for teams like these players, and well, I mean, both these teams for both the opposition are a nice potential victory that could go their way. But either way, good start for the side of Vegas Legion, going over towards P1. P2 control is going to be there for Boston Breach. But I mean, for you on either side, I mean, this is maybe a bit of a loaded question I'm asking you at the beginning of a hard point, but anybody in particular looking out for either roster to really pop off to help the team get a win over the line here today?
Well, you can pick your poison on either direction, but Gio and Nero, I think, are going to be the go-tos. Giro, just because he's looked like a shooter, great example right there. Fantastic win against the seam on those potential flanks. He doesn't actually block this spawn, but his gunning certainly there. And then Nero inside the point won enough big gunfights that you have a 44-point lead going into the new hill. Obviously, you saw that 5 spree popping up as well. Potential cruise missile coming through for the new man on the squad.
Really good start. Perfect example for you there. I can't believe it landed as cleanly as it did. But look at the P2 control still there for the side of Boston Breach. Priest&Co trying to lock it down. Good hold so far. Trying to enter back what was a very good hold over towards P1. We're seeing teams find a good amount of success over towards that side. Break potentially coming in here over from the front side of red now. You can see as Gio pushed up towards the bus stop. Isn't going to find anything. Priest will find the cut. Good hold so far for Boston. Starting to expand. What's going on here?
Okay.
You can't let that happen. The turn and bend from Nero. P3 rotation will be locked in. It's a really good hold from Boston over towards P2. Oh, wow.
Awkward moments, a nice little 2-pump from Attach. He's playing with fire, but hey, he's going to get it done. And I mean, we had Gio on a 5 spree, potentially looking for a cruise, maybe Attach's turn, but that's a long-term game. Right now, though, the impact, it is going to be on this new time. A potential 4 versus 3 over, or actually Slasher wants to play for Attach, and Attach is going to win it. So Slasher might be feeding streaks. In the meantime, his team is getting picked apart. You could have had the man advantage on the break. Instead, you get nada. You get shut down, and you got to regroup over by a Coop and try for the break once again.
Very good job from the side of Vegas Legion, especially on that scrap time, and now to set yourselves up over towards the new hill. They're just here to watch the cross. Boston need to find something here, because not that the lead is insurmountable by any stretch, but it's getting quite large quite early. Priester has seen combining well. Gio's there to answer the question. Nero just chilling as long as he possibly can, but Gio with the crispies again. Eventually the break will come through. 23 seconds is what's going to be on offer for the side of Boston Breach, looking like they're going to lock it down. A really, really good job over the last 3 hard points, to be honest with you, for Vegas Legion. Yeah, okay, they didn't get the majority of the time over towards P2, but you take a good chunk of it away from Boston Breach and find yourself with a rotation over towards the next hill. You take those all day long. Fight over towards the bridge side now. Gio really lighting it up so far, sitting 9-4. Priest at 10-4 himself, though, so having a good game on the side of Boston Breach, who are now trying to set themselves up for the scrappiest of scrappy hills. Over towards P4 we go.
And just looking at the minimap, it is a bit of a crazy hill, right? Both teams rather on every corner of the minimap, just about, at least like surrounding the hill. But Nero is playing off the time, so picks up a big 2-piece, can't quite get the third. The read was absolutely there, and I mean, look, we got a cruise missile already in the hands of Attach. Asim gonna be looking for one of his own, and Asim, cruise missile or not, as he's gonna be hunting it down, he's doing enough of a job just like distracting and keeping these players away. You can already see he is very focused on this rotation. Meanwhile, at the scrap time, still a bit of a battle. It looks like Vegas might come out on top to keep that lead maintained. Boston, very important on this rotation to try to keep track of these players. Nero behind enemy lines. This is that count to 4 moment. And based on Asim's play, he's aware that someone might be behind him.
Nero really is going to be the catalyst for any potential break that could come through. We got Slasher over towards top 3, trying to hold it down from there. Asim already curious that the push could have come through. Now Nero snaps into action. Asim, is he going to get the timing? Not quite. Nero will find the kill. Now you have to think about Attach maybe working on something over towards the Diner side. Spawn still coming in over towards that side, but it's looking like Boston Breach holding on for quite some time here, but Attach is going to shut this down pretty quickly. Cruise missile in, Priest are dead. Break potentially on the cards now for Vegas Legion. Spawning over towards Diner. Nero finds another really good job from Nero, locking down this side of the map. Should be some good time for the side of Vegas Legion.
It is quite literally just his presence keeping these players at bay. Boston had to send an extra few players around the flank just to go and pick him up. And I mean, credit to Boston, still wipe him off the map. Asim responds. He loses that 1v1 fight against Nero. It puts him on the back foot. Immediately comes back and slams and gets his team the scrap time. So Boston right back in the game. The spree continuing, catching spawners before they're ready to shoot. And again, that cruise missile battle, streaky players. He's already got one. So yeah, make the investment. Call him this one. Get these guys at least away from P1. Call this out to your team. And then win one gunfight after. And Asim out here making plays. Unfortunately, he dies in the meantime. So an ineffective cruise, an unfortunate moment. But his team still collecting that time.
We love the thought. But Boston Breach do a really good job over towards the final hill of the first rotation. Find themselves in a lead after Vegas Legion had a cracking start, and well, they will get themselves back in towards P1 where they managed to soak up around 40 points last time around. Now it's about for Boston. Can you find a break? Can you stop these points being soaked again? And a rotation over towards P2. Spawns over towards the back alley. Snoopy is potentially here to do something too. It's on the cards now for Boston to try and find something in this rotation again.
I was going to say, just looking at it, I don't think Vegas actually entirely read the spawns over towards New.
Yeah.
I mean, the player in Hill was still looking like towards the old direction, so Vegas may be a bit of an unfortunate moment with the spawn outs coming through, and we'll see how that is going to punish him, right? A 20-point lead for the moment, but you obviously have P2, potential money hill. Asim gets to play ratty and delivers another two-piece. 18 and 13 for the moment, by the way. So Asim right now on a blinder. And of course, in the time, Boston right back in the game, nearly tied up. Priest addition out. Serious damage on 3 different players. You know where the push is coming from. Everything. Guns forward. No one flanking. Gunfight's coming through. Attach wins the first inside the hill. Vegas there for the break. And is it going to be clean? / last man standing. He's going to fall too. Vegas get it done, pushing these players back.
Great break coming through a little bit earlier than it did last time around. Just 15 seconds of scrap time that Vegas Legion managed to get, and the rotation over towards P3. Boston have brought it back into this game though. Strong start for Legion again on the second rotation, but Boston Breach looking to find that break. Let's go for a listening with Boston.
He's gotta be in the back. No, he's back right, bro, back right. I hear it. He's dead. He's dead. Nice. Push up junk if you can. One's gonna be junk. One's already there. One's already there. I'm leading. I stun him junk.
I need to play through all, guys. I don't see him left.
Yeah, they are. I get him. I didn't junk though.
No, I'm holding left. He's top left on me.
Oh, fuck. I have to give Rears cross.
Watch that dead. I got one. Okay, one more left. He's, I think he's bottom. My snake.
Bottom, one shot. Absolutely near low bridge. I have her back.
He's on bridge.
He's front of me.
Absolute
low bridge. Yeah, you might want to. He's front of me.
Yeah, cube on me.
On the point.
He turned for me. I'm stunned. I'm right next to him.
On the point.
I got one. Shoot up.
One shot, mid-basket. Pillars. I got four.
I'm
playing Nero, guys.
I need back right.
I don't have the mid pinch yet. I'm trying to pick it up. Metal from time. Yeah,
only back right.
Top green, dead. Nice.
What's mid? That's not mid. Left side.
Yeah, right side mid now. You want to grab?
I got AC ladder.
You want AC ladder. Yeah, one shot. Crossing square and back side.
One shot.
And team mid.
One shot. Give me your back.
AC ladder. Still AC ladder.
Top fire.
No, AC ladder hit all.
Don't run.
Back there. Nice from bridge too.
Square dead.
One is from bridge to square. Back there. He's back there.
Nice.
One team back there. One shot. Challenge. Ran out. You ran off. He's half health in the air. He went square.
You're top green already.
Square that.
Top green.
One might hit you. Eric, one might hit you.
One shot top green. I needed it.
Don't store.
I got one.
I'm getting up there. Yo, middle.
Geo mid.
Nice. Two. One stop. Stop.
One shot.
Absolutely dead.
I'm one time.
Missing Nero. I hear. Brian Green. Yo, hard position. I have a strip for me.
I did it.
And as advertised, a very, very tight game between these two, kicking it off with map number 1. Hasim, very close and personal up against Perch. Will find another kill. He is very much leading the lobby. Snoopy will eventually get taken down. Some good time being soaked here for the side of Boston Breach, and a great break towards P3. Has actually found them in the lead.
It's going to be great time actually to get that break as well. That's with 26 seconds left on old time, and a couple different spawns coming through for Boston. So Priest is going to fight for the old time and actually get it. In the meantime, though, Boston's going to be 2 bodies down on the rotation. Snoopy, though, comes up clutch. Slasher, the exact same thing. So they might have been down on the man count, but they're up on the kills front. And on the rotation for Boston, what an important moment for them to stay ahead of the game. Granted, the hill's just popping, a 4-point lead. It's a money hill. We'll see if they can run it up.
Asim just causing havoc. in the back lines of Vegas Legion, who are trying to make their way over towards the hard point, but they've got to deal with the seam. For all that, he's absolutely nowhere near the point. They know they have to shut him down because he's going to flank at some stage, and during this time, Boston Breach are just soaking up. 3 seconds. Nero will find 2, though. Snoopy just trying to play his life over towards the backside. If he can find this kill on Nero and get them off the point, that would be big, but isn't able to help out. It's a nice break from Vegas Legion. 30 seconds to go here. Over towards the junk hill. Shots are good, but it's going to be a very one-dimensional push. Going to have to come through from Boston. They have to make something count here. Boston will be finding themselves around 20 points behind. Snoopy. He might have found the angle, though. If he can find this kill on the Purge, then the rest of the team may start to make a move. They haven't been able to. Only Snoopy here for now. 13 seconds remaining. Very even game as we go into a third rotation of hills.
That's kind of unreal, too. I mean, he's over there, like, trying to square up with the Renetti in those moments against Detach, but maybe dropping the ball a little bit there is Boston, but of course, they still do have that cruise missile in the back pocket. Could be great for the rotation or even on this P1 time if they need it, but for the moment, you got top third control, you got guys in time, so everything is singing sweet. You just got to keep track of these players, and Priesta, hyper aware right now, attaches in the background trying to flank. You see the kill feed, Priesta catches him. Now it's just all guns forward. Boston, easy reads right now on the minimap, keeping things secure.
Vegas Legion have had so much success over towards P1, but it's going to be very difficult to get that when you've got Slasher frying like this. Asim will find a kill on the Geo, and all of a sudden, Vegas Legion are locked out. Boston Breach can very much win it here. 20 seconds away. Push from Vegas Legion needs to be clean. Priesta will find 1 and 2 attached. Need to find a way through. 15 seconds. It's ticking down now for Boston.
Absolutely. I mean, one flank coming through. Purge trying to make the play. Geo in the back line. Couple trades are going to be there. Purge gets the double kill as well. 13 and 24, but he gets a big one. But look at those spawns. 2 in the back alley, 2 over by Red. Nero, though. Johnny on the spot. He's ahead of the game. And that's going to be Snoopy inside of the cruise in potentially the final moments. How good is the intel going to be? You still got the spawn up on a pinch. 2 players inside. Can't get it done, but you get him trapped indoors. Vegas going to have to fight them all off, and that is the kill feed to start it.
There you go. You managed to find the kills you need to. The cruise missiles used to no success whatsoever. Purge going to hold it down from the top red side. He was the one that really broke through over towards P1, and he might be the reason that Vegas Legion win this game. Snoopy can find 1 through the front door, needs some help. Asim is there, and he has no backup. Vegas Legion holding it down. It's a 6-point game. Big win from Snoopy. Can't get in time. Vegas Legion hold it down. It's a cracking map number 1 that Legion will take away, but not without its adversity. Big plays coming in from Purge over towards P1 to find the break. The rotation locks in. The fights fall their way. Vegas Legion take map number 1.
And it was just that angle up top, man. I think it was Slasher from top AC looking down, but that like weird little bit of cover he had. I mean, look, make no mistake. Purge was getting fried. He was not having a good map. He was double negative the entire time, that quite literally finishes the game on a 4 or 5 spree, and they broke P1 at the final possible second of when they were allowed to actually get that done. So, I mean, credit to Purge. You had a small miss moment, but we get to check it again just to see exactly how the gunny was coming through. But yeah, Purge, he found the right moment to snap, and there it is. Little bit of cover, gunny on the hill, and it was actually a seam up top that just could not finish that kill. And even with the spawns coming through, Vegas actually read it very quickly. So that is very heads up from Nero. Great gunny there out of Purge. Big moment in the very end.
Yeah, huge moment. It felt like Vegas Legion were fighting off the back foot after the first rotation, to be honest with you. Boston Breach seemed to be leading the dance. Really good map number 1, though, and it sets us up very, very nicely for the rest of this series. Boston Breach, it felt like over towards this last hole, Vegas Legion, you've got to give them all the credit, but I felt a little 1-by-1 from Boston. But in that kind of scenario, it's so tough, right? You got to get towards the hill as quickly as you possibly can. You've got to find a break. You can have those panicky moments. It's always a tough ask, especially over towards P2. It's a hard break at the best of times, never mind when you have to do it very, very quickly, and you have to do it very, very efficiently.
And it's also one of those types of games, dude, that when you're going back over it in VOD review, you're going to be able to pick apart so many different moments, right? Boston even had the full setup on like the junkyard hill and simply could not execute. But I mean, there you see the stat line. Again, Purge, maybe not quite double negative because of the spree he goes on towards the end, but wasn't really keeping up in the damage, wasn't getting a crazy number of assists. So he was certainly underperforming on the map. Doesn't matter. Got the dub. The Vegas Legion special in that moment. Absolutely stealing one away. And I mean, again, that is a massive map and a very big game. These two teams looking for that middle of the pack separation.
100%. Those 2 kills in that break. Stats can't define those kind of moments. Vegas Legion, I mean, for all I said, the first rotation had them feeling like they were in the driving seat. And Boston were leading the dance. Well, that tells you everything you need to know about me. And I'm talking absolute rubbish, but game flow coming through. You can see Vegas Legion very much in the lead the majority of the time, but a very, very close game. And Boston pull ahead. And then all of a sudden, it's turned around on its head. Very, very close game number 1 as we head into game number 2 in a second. It's going to be Karachi Search and Destroy. Evasion Control going to be coming up after that as well. And if we need it, maps 4 and 5 will be Evasion and High Rise. Is that a map, though, that we were thinking for Vegas Legion? I know it's always going to be very, very tight when it comes down to these hard points. They've got to be feeling good coming into map number 2, though, considering Boston's Search and Destroy woes have, well, I want to say continued, but they found a map 5 win last week, so you never know. Things could change.
Yeah, they absolutely did. Boston, though, it's sort of like a weird story for these guys in Search and Destroy. It's like a map-dependent thing. Karachi is their only good S&D map. So as the game mode, Vegas comfortable to play in, yes, but Karachi S&D is the one sort of sweet spot for Boston. I say sweet spot. It is a 3-2 record, so it's not as if they are dominant, but it is the only S&D map where they have success. Like, Boston is 0-5 on Invasion sort of thing. Like, that's abysmal, but they dodge it in this series. It's a high rise for the game 5, so on the S&D front, maybe slightly more optimistic than we typically are for the Boston camp. Of course, on the flip side, I mean, Purge is typically the respawn underperformer. In Search and Destroy, he has been solid for the squad. He is an S&D kid. He's a very strong playmaker, has fantastic comms as well, so maybe a bit more of his opportunity to shine. And I also appreciated the player cams of Vegas after their win, like a burst of excitement on some of the younger players. Attach, cold as ice, just takes a sips of water, right ready for map 2. Attach always a player. He's been locked in for like 12 years now.
Honestly, I've not seen the man age, though. I know we were saying he's the veteran on this one. That block has not aged a single day since the very first day that I laid eyes on it. Vegas Legion looking very, very solid now. 1-0 up in this series. The Search and Destroy coming up next. You're going to be feeling good, and their map pool is growing, chance.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talked about how Karachi is sort of the one good point for Boston. Similar story on the flip side for Vegas Legion. A decent map for these guys as well. And of course, when you do something like 6-0 Toronto on a Rio S&D, that's sort of a shout out to the rest of the league of like, hey, you might have to ban it against us. Well, that's exactly what Boston does. So maybe one good map in the mix for Boston. Plenty of good maps now for Vegas to work with for the Search and Destroy game mode. So they got that map 1 win. These guys already feeling comfortable. Again, the more respawn reps that these guys get in, the better. They've been going toe-to-toe against some of the best in the game. And I mean, truly, this is a squad that have been on the up and up. I mean, I know, Gio's gotten a little bit of love as he's made his way towards the team, but it truly has been Attach and Nero lights out the entire year.
100%. Looking over towards it, though, we talked about Boston's woes, and, well, that will tell you exactly how things have went down over these Major II qualifiers. That 1 win coming in a map at number 5 last week against Rocker, so an asterisk against it because Rocker always lose map number 5s, but irrelevant of that, S&D has not been great.
Well, in ton, it's the conversion too. Like the stats for round 1 percentage, it's not great for Boston, but it's reasonable. Opening duel, close to 50-50. You want it above that sort of like mid-range point, but 47% isn't terrible. But if you cannot convert the rounds where you're getting the first bloods, that is a massive problem. So without question between these two teams, that has been the difference. The biggest difference maker, and more of the top teams in the game will hover in that like 80 to 95% range on conversion. That's sort of like league average. If you're above 90, absolutely phenomenal. Being just above 50 is terrible. And again, I mean, the devs talked about it, Slashers talked about it in interviews. Like the first blood's not the issue. It's the small mistakes they are making after the fact where, I mean, what the mistakes might be, tough to say. Overcommitments, sloppy comms, guys just sprinting when they shouldn't be, not holding the setups, bad comms. It could be any number of different things they've been working on in practice. That has been the primary focus point for Boston. And of course, in the respawn, they have been solid. It might be a tough map 1, but overall, if they can clean up the Search and Destroy, they will jump right back to contending with some of the top teams in the game. So it will absolutely be an interesting map 2, where we get to test again their resolve, their ice, see how far, if they can take this series the distance.
What was Legion who iced up in map number 1? Do Boston Breach have anything for them here in the Search and Destroy? We stay on Karachi. We change up the game mode. Overall in the season, yeah, okay, it's looking decent. Signed to Boston Breach. Defensive win percentage, they've got that on lock. That's something to keep an eye out as these rounds do go on. See if it does influence which way this map will go. But keep an eye on those first bloods. We mentioned it time and time again. The more you speak of it, 55% is... It's a huge issue.
It's a coin. You get the first blood, and it's still a coin flip on whether or not you win the round. That is not ideal.
Right? Like you get it at 70 or something. You're like, okay, well, it's poor, but 55. Eesh. Here we go. Anyway, over towards it. To the side of Vegas Legion to kick things off. Snoopy will be on his own if only momentarily. A little bit of control pretty much immediately for Vegas Legion, and they're just going to get this baby down immediately. Priest can do very little about this. No angles. Nice setup here from Vegas Legion. Boston gonna have to try and find a retake.
Yeah, get the smoke as well, just to make sure you get out of dodge. Priest does have the angles, so he knows nobody crossed. So everybody on Boston knows nothing's over by P2. Everybody's trapped in red. You got Slasher working the flank, so you do have these 4 players trapped around red. The question is, can you actually execute and take them down? You still got Tax to work with. Boston, we'll see what they can do.
Time's running out. 20 seconds to get things going. Is Attach going to get traded? Yes, he is. The team will find Geo as well. Nero and Purge now having to survive. So Nova not going to find anything by the looks of things, and Nero will read that one, no problem. 10 seconds, the second gunfight from Nero. Wow. Big gunfight comes through, finds it. I don't think the time was maybe on the side there for the side of Boston Breach, but irrelevant of that, Nero absolutely piecing.
Hey, I mean, look, that's also around. I don't think Boston actually got the first blood, but that was very quick that they had a 3 versus 2. So they got the man advantage. And then the coin flip after the fact, they did everything right until the part where they just get gunned by Nero. So that is unfortunate. He plays a day 1 spot that we have seen a ton of in the past 2 weeks. And I mean, Slasher was still sliding in. He got a bullet off, but not enough to set up Priest for the kill. And that is a painful first round to have fall. Boston, again, #1 team on defense on this map. That's immediately what they lose. They've struggled more on the attacking rounds, but there's a first blood, so they do have the advantage.
A bit of a light push is what's going to catch Nero out. And now all of a sudden, do they know that B is completely wide open? Well, it is, but Purge is well going to be right on the flank. Really good play coming in from Snoopy, nice and patient. Now all of a sudden, if you're Vegas Legion, you need to start to kick into gear. Oh, he's got a free fight onto the bomb site if he wants it. Is he going to be able to find a kill here? Geo will find one. Slasher. Oh, he can't find the second as well. Attach will find another. No way it's collapsed like this. Snoopy now. Makes it a 1 versus 1. Geo. Not going for the defuse yet. Plenty of time. Snoopy lingering around. Geo spots him and goes to chase the kill down. Come down to the 1 versus 1. Snoopy clutches up the 1 versus 2. Big round for Boston Breach that they nearly threw out of the window. But eventually they will find it. That got scary.
Yeah, shout out to the kid, by the way. I mean, when we're talking about small mistakes in search on the side of Boston, Slasher's not the guy I'm expecting to be the ones to make mistakes, but him and Priesta just get obliterated through the smoke. So, an awkward moment. They got dished out what could have been a devastating round. Snoopy bails him out. That is a massive clutch, a massive moment. Maybe when Geo looks back on and wish he hopped the bomb, but he doesn't have the intel we do. So Snoopy right now, the lifeline, the savior for the squad, but on defense, action's not coming to him straight through the middle of the map. It's Vegas Legion, Asim's here to meet him. First blood for Boston again. They've been consistent with the man advantages. It has been spicy after the fact, though.
Let's see if we can have another spicy round. First 2 have been thoroughly entertaining. Give me a 3rd, please. Slasher locking this one down. Waiting for any sort of push to come through for Vegas Legion. Mid-map pressure was coming in from Purge. He will back down. It's looking like a B hit going to come through. Dot your eyes, cross your T's. Try and find the gunfight. Push is going to come through. Are they going to read it? Oh, Slasher again. Geo just seems to have his number. Attaches ready and waiting for the artillery, or the cavalry to come through, I should say. Snoopy is going to find an incredible gunfight over towards Attach. And eventually make this a 2 versus 2. First blood was there for Boston. And now once again, a disadvantageous position. Purge locking this down. Is the push going to come through from the street side? Priester and Co. just looking to try in the first gunfight. They do it. They smoke out the rat. And now G is going to be able to potentially lock this one down. Good shots on the Priester. Needs to find some equally as good ones onto Snoopy. Can't find the fight. Again, Snoopy clutching up for Boston.
The lifeline, the savior. We bow down to Snoop in these moments. Again, dude, this is just... just being able to commentate and just set it up of like, hey, Boston first blood, but does it really matter? And consistently, like, not really. I will say in the actual 2 versus 2, though, it was fantastic execution. They knew the player was playing the nerd spot under scaffolding. They waited for the timing, the coordination. I think it was Snoopy that still had the stun, banks it off the wall, backs the guy on the bridge down, and they isolate the guy on scaffolding. So that is certainly a moment where I think the communication completely on point there for Boston. At the same time, though, it was a clear-cut man advantage that they nearly threw away. So, again, they just like to make things interesting, but if there's any extra benefit, Snoopy does have the cruise missile. And on a map like this, if you get the bomb planted with the cruise, it's a guarantee.
First blood and a second for a team. They're finding them absolutely no problem here, Boston. Snoopy now looking to try and find a route as well, as this bomb is looking like it is going to go down over towards the B side. A team can find the first 2 gunfights, not the third. Nero seems a very difficult one at this moment in time. 2 versus 3 for Vegas Legion. It will be a 2 versus 4 if they can convert it. But they'll have to find a defuse, and they'll have to find Snoopy lingering around the middle of the map. This guy is absolutely frying, my word. Big round from Boston. Find themselves now with a 2-round advantage. It's looking good.
This man can do no wrong. Forward attach, that's an MCW. MCW can fry at that range and get the headshot multiplier, but the Rival 9, dominant in a gunfight like that. And of course, you have to be twisted for it. You gotta hit the shots, but right now, Snoopy, very clean with it. Cruise missile still in hand if he needs it. The first bloods have been flowing for Boston. They have had the man advantage in every single round played thus far. So again, Karachi, they are thriving. Things look fantastic. They got the clutch when they need to. And now for Vegas, they're running this straight at Snoopy. I don't know if that's the player you want to mess with the first blood, but at least if you get him out of the picture, your odds go up after the fact. And that is a read from Purge. That is the man to take down. And he sprints into death. All good.
Yep. Classic. Find your way over towards the A side. Maybe only expecting one player to be holding it down, but Pristo over towards the back diner side is going to need the help for his teammates to come on through and defuse this bomb now. Shots in towards Slasher. Asim is able to not just trade it, but find the gunfight before he is able to take his teammate down. Nero now going to have to lock it down. He's going to have to find something. He does have some help in the form of Attach, who's on his way. Asim will fall. Attach from up top. You got to just stop chasing these players. Maybe a little bit too much. Attach now in a 1v1. Can Priesta find it? Time on the side of the Vegas Legion. Jumping on the defuse. Attach. You got to get there. You got to get there. Is he going to get there? Looks that way. Vegas Legion find the round just.
It's Attach in a 1v1. You know he's got it. Was the timing close? Yes, but that's because Attach gets it perfect. He hasn't aged a day because he doesn't feel stress in these moments. It honestly is ungodly how consistent he is for 1v1s. Like, over the course of Call of Duty history, I remember, like, in Advanced Warfare, before I started casting, I think it was Mr. X mentioned how good Attach was in 1v1s. It has been true ever since, and that's a big one there. Shout out to Purge, by the way. Gets the first blood on Snoopy. Snoopy, the right man to kill. Throws his life away after the fact, but again, all good. Vegas on the board. Get a defensive round, looking to clutch up.
It was an important round that for Vegas. You feel as if things would maybe get away from them just a little bit at 4-1, but 3-2. Make things interesting. Purge once again. Looking for something, and we'll find more than something. He may well find 2 here if he can get the jump onto a seam. Eventually we'll find the kill, and we'll just dip. No problem whatsoever. Nero with a gunfight over towards the other side. Snoopy is dealt with again. Hasn't been able to do much for Boston Breach in the last of these 2 rounds. So it's looking like the second one's going to fall, and that's not going to help at all either. Priesta taking down Slasher. And Priesta now left in an impossible situation of a 1v4. Not going to happen.
I don't even know what was possible on the minimap for Priesta just to gun him like that. I think he had to have just gotten, like, scared by him. I don't think any players lined up. I don't know if Priesta was in a gunfight. Either way, unfortunate moment. Maybe it didn't matter too much because Purge had basically already guaranteed the round, but I think we're catching a look at how Purge likes to play S&D, right? He is just sprinting around, looking to catch those timings. I mean, he's tried to work those fast flanks before. He's gotten caught a few times, but when it's successful, it is just a guarantee for the round count. All tied up on the Karachi front, 3-3. Maybe a little momentum on Vegas' side. And once again, straight over towards A, yeah, dealing with Snoopy again.
Yeah. I suppose if you're Purge, though, you're running through the middle of the map, you get taken down. It's just the first blood for Boston. Turns out it doesn't really matter that much anyway.
True.
We're vibing. Purge and Cole looking to find a push over towards this A side. Bomb is here. A 2-2 split. And they're going to find a route through him. Snoopy has found himself maybe in a little bit more of a passive position. That stun check's going to come through, though. He'll do well to kill him, but he will be found out. And we'll have to back on down. That bomb is now down 4 versus 4.
Oh, he's just in like war right now, right? Couple nades landing at his feet. He's got 2 players directly underneath him. Different situation, though, by the way. Attach could be working the flank. So last time all the players from Vegas were isolated over towards red. They do get the first blood, but the flank's coming through. Purge says you got 1. Attach strikes on the flank. He gives you 2, and he buys you the time. Asim gonna have to try to run it down. Attach has already done so much playing with his food, and he's got the setup. Doesn't matter who gets the kill. Attach out here, winning them the round.
Flawless again from Attach. And it really does feel like the momentum has swung after those first 4 rounds. Boston feeling confident, but things have changed very, very quickly. A couple of very solid rounds from Vegas Legion as well. It's not been anywhere near close in these last 2 at least. Which way is this one going to go? Huge map in the series, this. If Boston can bring it back, got a great series. But if they go 2-0 down, I don't know how I feel about their chances. Looks like it's going to be a big hit over towards the B side. Got to keep an eye out for those nades. They have landed, but Purge survives. And Purge finds a route through the middle of the map. It's a big hit through market, though, for Boston. Setting up inevitably to get some bridge control. But again, Purge is here. Are they right? They haven't seen him.
There's no shot. They're playing off the cruise, and they've already lost the round, potentially. Snoopy's going to be stuck in it. Purge behind enemy lines. You can't find the kill. You got a 4 versus 3.
Next to each other.
You're worried about the Purge in your spawn.
Oh, they were next to each other. That is a disaster for Boston Breach, but is it yet? Priester will fall to Purge, but they answer back pretty much immediately. A little bit of fortunate and unfortunate timing with the cruise missile. Smoke down. Push towards the bomb site coming on through in an immediate plan. Nero sprinting through the smoke. Should be able to deal with the player. Doesn't even see him. Has found himself in absolute hell all of a sudden. But a great position to be in nonetheless. Nero trying to survive. Found himself now in a really awkward spot for not just himself, but for Boston as well. If he can continue to survive, how are Boston getting this bomb down? The answer is they're not, but Slasher will deal with him. Bomb now going down.
They get it. Attach ice peel, though, at least catches them for the 2v2. So the main advantage nullified. A little bit of time right now for Vegas to work with. And he might have just found the timing. Attaches underneath. He's got the read on Slasher. And he's got the Gunny 2 and a cruise. Attach has everything he won. Now he's got to get the round. And it's Geo that delivers it again. Boston cannot execute even when things are good. The clutch factor for Vegas, much too strong. And I tell you, I was looking at Attach in the player cam. His eyes were dialed, ready to go and make that move on the round. Again, we just saw how Boston uses the cruise missile. Absolutely horrible. Purge has been sprinting at you, and he's on defense every round. He finds the timing again. Nobody watching a thing. And I think Vegas might be a little bit better on the execution front. In Attach, we trust.
Just silly mistakes creeping out from Boston. They need ironed out pretty shortly because honestly, these search and destroys. I was about to say they're becoming a problem. They've been a problem for a while. 5-3 now. Vegas Legion got to be feeling good, and can they use their cruise missile to better effect? Well, you'd almost say absolutely. But when did they choose to invest it? Has he found an angle, or has he just found an unfortunate moment? Geo will find them. They walk on through. The cruise missile will give the cover and a kill as well. Vegas Legion 4 versus 2. Bomb down. This should begin. Priester finds one on the Purge though. And Soupy with some good shots on the Nero. But you need to find more than that.
That's a great nade, but there's also no follow-up, right? So a 2v3, you're working for some power positions, but you've to gun these players down. Nearly hopeless. Geo back down, but things right now easy for Vegas.
Snoopy finding some market control. 22 seconds. You need to find some kills very, very quickly. Priester falls. Snoopy has really been the talisman for Boston Breach in this map. But can he find anything here? A little bit of time in. 1, 2. Attach is surely not going to give him this. Got to try and find something. You're looking for him, and he is nowhere to be seen. Attach up top kills the game, and that number 2 win for Vegas Legion. They are cruising in this series. So good from Attach and Co, punishing Boston every single time they possibly could. Kill Snoopy, win the round, win the game.
That's Boston's best map for S&D as well. And as you pointed out for Snoopy, It was either miraculous clutches or it was just a breakdown in every single round. First blood's effectively null and void. That is a little painful to watch. And I mean, honestly, picturesque of like the mirror images we just got of the cruise missiles, because using them in the exact same situation, it's not a post plant you're looking for. You're using the cruise missile to get the bomb down. Boston, they dropped the ball instantly because Purge was just flying at them on the flanks. And of course, on the side of Vegas, instead, the cruise missile delivers you not just a free first blood, but the free second kill as well, making the round that much easier. But yes, Attach clutch in the 1v1s, clutches in every clutch moment. Double-digit kills, 12-4 performance, as good as you could ask for. Attach, he has been on point all year.
Fantastic work from the Betty. And it's found Vegas Legion 2 to the good. A close map number 1, a comfortable map number 2, and evasion control coming up next as well. Oh, you got to figure something out very, very quickly here, Boston. It's not looking great in this game, but if they can find the control, heading over towards an invasion hard point, that could be very, very close. But looking over towards those kills, I mean, look, Snoopy had a really good game for the side of Boston, but not quite enough to get the job done. And again, I think for Purge, you know, we pointed out time and time again, it's sprinting down the middle of the map. Doesn't care if he dies, because honestly, the first bloods didn't matter if Boston even found it. Really good map number 2 coming in from Vegas Legion. They are in a commanding position in this series. Map number 3 going to be coming up very, very shortly. We'll see after this.
Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL.
Wins the first gunfight, wins the second gunfight, stops the zone from getting captured.
Right now, Attach, Eric Boom. He's got a lot of these moments in his career. Why don't we tack on another one? The new guy? I've been doing this my whole life! In behind everybody, though, is Dashy. Can you take down 2? Maybe 3! He gets them all as they line up for Dashy.
Symphony of a break. Hydra holds on, and my goodness, he does incredibly well to get 3. Abizi, though, doubles down, and that's enough to lock things up.
Might be the turning point of the game, man. Atlanta face starting to chain a couple hills together. Abizi, it's your turn to start turning up. He already finds himself in a 5 streak.
Nero is pinching, and he's gonna find 2. This might be a very clean round here for Vegas Legion.
Here's everybody. Is this round nearly done? Nero is all across the map. 7 in a row for him. Locks down his 8th, stays up through it.
3 shots, he plays it really well over towards the back of Dyna. And now Pred can get himself in a position where he can cause absolute havoc.
That free first kill. Shots still on the flank. Might have the timing perfect. Wins the first gunfight, wins the second gunfight, stops the zone from getting captured in a highlight reel play. It's a 3v3.
Gotta go. You gotta go. If you're Rocket, you're locking it down. If you're Optic Texas, making 1 kill from Shotzi. Liz, can he find the clean up here? It's Dashy to find 1 more. Can they lock it in time? It's a 3 versus 12 in the end from Optic. Things looking very good now for the side of Vegas Legion. 2 to the good up against Boston. Search and destroy. Well, we expected it to go Vegas's way, but again, for Boston, the problems persist. Chance those first bloods were flowing, and the rounds were going the opposite direction. Not the best of showings from Boston once again.
Yeah, and if you want to watch Boston choke potentially in person, we do have Major II tickets on sale. You got a QR code. You can scan it, get your tickets, get some sunlight. It's going to be down in Florida. You have high expectations for the vitamin D. And again, whether you want to watch your favorite team perform well, or if you want to watch them chokes on the main stage, you will have all the options available to you. Just make sure you get the tickets. Even the Challengers event, I believe, just got announced for Miami as well. So shout out to the Heretics, fantastic organization coming in, getting big things done. I'm very excited and just a few weeks away.
Yep, just keep running in it. It's fine.
Yeah, sorry, Ton. I was gonna throw it out there, but like, it's all good.
Just continuously.
We'll have like a Ton and Bryce totem that I'll bring with me.
Honestly, I feel like if anybody needed the sun more, it's definitely Bryce. Anyway, irrelevant of that. Over towards Invasion we go. Control coming up. And is this the potential bounce back now for the side of Vegas Legion? It has to be. Out for Vegas Legion, for Boston Preacher. I'm here. I mean, look, Chance, the records don't necessarily fill me full of confidence for Boston, but they have had opportunities. Map number 1 was close enough. They had opportunities to turn rounds into something in the search and destroy. If they're given the opportunity here on map number 3, do you feel confident that they'll be able to take it?
Well, I mean, you saw the stats, right? Fantastic on defense. It's a defensive-heavy map, so either team, honestly, if you get that defense for round 5, you're feeling fantastic. But it's a matter of getting there off the opening break. A little bit of action for Vegas. Maybe somewhat of like a split push effectively coming through. Purge is going to be annoying, living inside of Rugs, while maybe the main action heading over towards B. That's where Geo is going to be working with Attach. And, I mean, you just saw Attach's numbers, by the way. 1.45, simply ridiculous. Attach is on form, and Purge doing an annoying enough job that the B capture is going to be a guarantee. And you still have a little bit of pressure to push up the map, look for some extra kills. And, well, Geo, free kill number 1. I would assassinate that guy every single time, but that is reason number 37 while I'm not a pro.
I'd love to hit another 36 reasons, maybe another day, but Geo will fall over towards the laundry side. But yeah, you're very right. That pressure can come in from Vegas Legion. Look at where they're setting up now. Boston Breach gonna have to hold tight here, Chance.
They're doing a pretty good job just to stay alive again on these offensive rounds. As long as you have the pressure around A, the opportunities are going to be there. Every death, though, a bit of a dagger, and that is everybody falling one by one like dominoes. And Attach 0-1 so far in the round. Opportunity to do some damage, but at the very least, he is only going to be a nuisance. His team a little bit desperate to get out of the spawn. Asim's going to fall, so the floodgates down that B street going to be open. Small window of opportunity, and I mean, Attach. In that moment, Snoopy just doesn't know where to look, and here you go. The A hit could come through.
One player really can be the catalyst to break something open over towards A. Good shots coming in from Asim. Boston will hold tight again. They will find 3 kills again, but once more, there is one player lingering around, but for how much longer, I'm not too sure. Purge is taking plenty of bullets, should be dead to rights, and there you go. Boston clear it out. For Vegas Legion, now you're going to try and find a breakthrough. Next couple of kills, super important.
If you're just looking at Snoopy's positioning, right, that is a picturesque example of why it's so difficult to work the flanks, because you are going to get spotted. It does not matter where you go. It is easy to watch the, again, 37 reasons why I'm not a pro and 36 cuts you can watch on this map. You're inside of DVDs, a little bit of damage done. And again, for Vegas players, if they're alive, things are feeling great. Priesta Snappy is going to get traded, but right now, just looking at the minimap, it is difficult for Vegas to sort of find that clear-cut opening over towards A. They're getting picked apart on every cross from every direction and every angle. And now the players coming off spawn, got to deal with Slasher, got to deal with the Seam, and you're not dealing with those two. It's Snoopy hunting you down with the pistol. Vegas, pressure on the map, yes. Execution on A, no. They're struggling to get anything done.
Yeah, it's been a real struggle. You're finding position well, and you may well find an opportunity again. Gotta find this gunfight if you're Snoopy. He's found a lot so far. 10-3 from him. Next couple of gunfights, absolutely crucial. Nero inside the pot. Stops the time. Here we go. It can fall ever so quickly when it comes down to control. 17 seconds remaining. Gotta win some gunfights. Slasher falls. Rest of the team coming in off the respawn. Priestess does well to find one. The second easily falls his way. And once again, the attack, well, I was about to say, is crumbled. Geo will find 2. And you got to make the move now. Geo can find a third as well, but he will need to find just a little bit more. The shots in are good, but if you are Boston, you hold it down. If you're Vegas Legion, you got to get the Nike zone and get on running. Not going to happen. Opportunity there for the side of Vegas Legion, but Boston Bridge shut the door every time.
Yeah, big plays from P-Dog as well. That two-piece, make no mistake, might have saved him in the round. The wall bang on point, the follow-up kill. All things considered, though, that small mistake, that window of opening that Vegas actually found did give them an extra tick, an extra little segment, which could potentially go a long way. So not quite a standard round, a slightly better than average there on the side of Vegas. So it's not a lot to work with, but it is absolutely something. Boston gonna have to push just a little bit further. No A hits off the rip. Obviously, Trophy's gonna be out and about, so gonna keep it nice and standard over towards B. Double stack coming through. Everybody else playing towards mid. Play a little bit of TDM before we start really grinding on that objective.
Vegas Legion coming to have a look, though. Don't want to just give this one away. Snoopy's been really good here for Boston Bridge. Had a really shaky start to map number 1. We're sitting at 1-7, turned it around. Obviously, they weren't able to get the dub. Same can be said over towards the second map. Was really the shining light for Boston in what has been a dark series so far, though. They are looking like they're going to get a hold of B now. Push going to come through from Purge. He is there to maybe slow this down. The rest of Vegas Legion also on their way. Keep an eye on Snoopy, though. He could be the one to maybe break coming on through to find a flank. Or does he just hightail it over towards the A side if these kills go his team way? Well, Slasher and Snoopy will find 2. Purge is there to answer back. B is looking like it is still going to go Boston's way, but none of Purge has something to say about it. Slasher behind enemy lines, but good clear up from Legion.
Yeah, Vegas actually just did a fantastic job of basically ignoring Slasher. Don't deal with the treehouse push. Just go through like DVD. Just sprint straight at him, make him ineffectual, and yeah, Slasher can't get anything done. And now you're dealing with the spawn trap. Purge lighting up the kill feed as well. He's got the cruise missile. And it was a slightly better than average offensive round there for Vegas. This is looking like a phenomenal round on defense. If you can shut down those zones, that might be, honestly, the game in a moment like this. Pressure on Boston to respond, and if you're in a situation where you're roaming towards A in a moment like this, not ideal. They are being suffocated in their spawn.
The shots from Purge making me do my best owl impressions over here, over towards the B side. Fantastic work to break it open. It was him who found 3 kills and then put Boston into this blender. We can find a route through the middle of the map potentially. Attached now will be there to lock it down, but he is going to get taken down. You need to get a touch if you're Boston within the next 3 seconds. Got to jump and you got to go now. They get it. But is the damage maybe already done? Looks like B is going to be secured. So if you're Vegas Legion, well, okay, you've done a really good job throughout the majority, but you'd be a little bit upset that you managed to lose that, considering where you had Boston, who have given themselves a lifeline.
Yeah, and you just had Purge in a spot where he could have made the big play, but also sort of got neutralized over by the tractor, couldn't find a kill, and the timing does not go his way. Nice wall bangs there from Nero, but more or less back to square one. 44 seconds, though, not a ton of time to work with, and Nero getting damaged before he falls as well. And again, with only less than 40 seconds on the clock, time is of the essence. The more Vegas slow them down, the better. Pushed out over towards Bridge and attached. Decent damage, but players alive and side of Cafe. Boston, this is your one good chance. A bunch of players grouped up right next to the zone. The kills have to fall. Priesta gets the first.
Here we go. Gets gunned. Attached some really good centering coming on through. Will help find the third, and that will be the round. A better hold from the side of Vegas Legion. Made Boston really work for it, but for Boston, at least you did get a hold of B. It wasn't looking like you were going to at any stage during that round. Page tried to shut that down, was able to slow it down. But Vegas Legion, good defensive hold. It is a tick advantage towards them after 2 attacking rounds.
Yeah, I mean, this is the invasion special, right? Like the amount of focus that you have to pay attention to just to those extra segments towards the end. So Vegas, you know, again, big opportunity to demoralize and shut them down on defense. But of course, even though that ball gets dropped just a little bit, great news, Purge still has that cruise missile. And you might be able to create a window of opportunity on the attacking rounds to use the cruise if you'd want to. Maybe better to play a little bit safe and keep it for the defensive rounds just in case. But you see the idea from Purge. Might be late to the round, trying to pick up an extra flanker and make that bolt over towards that A zone. Meanwhile, his team focused on B. Just a single cap right now for the moment, so it's going to be slow. But still playing for kills. No one's died yet. 15 seconds into the round, it's Slasher and Priesta finally able to get those first few kills. That play that Purge was trying to make down A Street, you had Priesta just more patient.
Big gunfight actually going to go on over towards A Street. Priesta now going to Try and butter Vegas Legion up before they can even get out their spawn. Will get dealt with. Good shots coming in from Nero. Will backslash it down. Capturing over towards this B side though. Looking good here from Vegas Legion so far. One play's going to come through, and that will be Snoopy. He finds nothing. All of a sudden, B is pretty much gone. Unless it's an absolute miracle play going to come through from Boston Breach. But for the control in the middle of the map, not too bad. You will lose B very quickly. A full 2 minutes and 5 seconds to work on over towards A. You do have one player behind in his team who's going to slow things down here. Vegas Legion still have to dot their I's, cross their T's if they want to make a push over towards A side.
Purge, yeah, is going to fit. Finally got the trade. Took a little extra time to get it, but waiting for the angle to get lined up for him. But this is for Vegas. Again, they have the cruise missile. If you manage to find that small window of opportunity, if you get in that A zone, the cruise missile could be devastating. For the moment, though, it's looking like they're going to struggle to set it up. Dash last man standing on the map does not stand for long. Right back to square one, back in your spawn, and working through the B street. Boston keeping the pressure up on defense, keeping the kills and trades flowing through. Vegas, again, a long way to go. Minute 20 seconds, 2 good pushes to work with.
Can Boston keep themselves alive in the middle of the map? Sometimes it is just about playing your life, slowing them down. Geo going the long way about it. Pre-step there to clean up. Can find the second as well. Got a lot of help with both those gunfights, and he didn't need any for that one, but isn't able to make those bullets land again. Boston Breach just seem to find flurry of kills when they really do need it. Looking pretty grim for Vegas Legion on this attacking side. Geo can find a kill though, and all of a sudden you can see Nero has found a gap through the defense. Next couple of gunfights are massive. Nero not just finds a gap, he finds 2 alongside of it. Slasher needs to find more than 1 here, realistically. Vegas Legion will find their way in towards A. Remember, they have that cruise missile. There is potential in this push.
And 2 on the point as well. So Boston already feeling the heat. Slasher's gonna fly. Priesty gets that blood. Slasher does not die. Has the gunny with the pistol. It's enough for the trades. Still a tick has come through, but that is a big gunfight win by Slasher. A little late to the play, but he executes on his job. Attach gets sniffed out as well. All things considered, though, for Vegas, I mean, on the tick front, it's great. You're up 8-3. You now have a massive advantage in this game. 22 seconds left. Round's not done yet, but I think with those kills from Asim and Snoopy, that should be good enough for Boston to win the round. But there's the battle, and then there's the war. The bigger picture right now for Vegas, they are looking good so far on Invasion Control.
It's very classic Invasion Control, isn't it? A couple of potential opportunities for these attacking teams, but it has been, well, difficult to find a route through. But those ticks aren't going to make a difference, you feel. Our 5th round is, well, it's feeling like it's beckoning. Vegas Legion, can you maybe try and find something here on your defensive side? Of course, there's Boston now with the lead. Boston, I mean, I think, if I can recall at least to the first attacking opportunity, they did have a couple of looks, but again, very similar to what Vegas Legion have had on under offer. But I think the equalizer, the only difference between these two teams here in this round is the fact that Purge does have that cruise missile if they need it. But realistically, those ticks over towards their attacking rounds have put them in a really, really good position, albeit behind, and it is going to be an hit coming in through the side of Boston Breach pretty much off the rip here. Going to try and get something going almost immediately. Trophy out, into the point you go. Slasher can answer back, and the kill that came through from Nero, but attached Geo making it work, and all of a sudden this is the other side of the coin, and what can potentially happen over towards A. I say that though, Snoopy will find 2 and keep it going.
He doesn't have a trophy though. Sun's gonna hit him. That nade is gonna miss actually, so it doesn't do damage. It's only a 1v1 gunfight for Snoopy to win, but he cannot get it done. Hero, maybe the hero in that moment for the 1v1 gunfight. Keeping things a little bit safer than they needed to be, but Boston still the pressure over towards A, so like a guy like Attach right now, posted up L-triggered on this B zone. But maybe just a 1v2 gunfight. Number 8's having the turn because Priest is getting the kills. And number 3 and number 7, it's Slasher versus Nero in the kill feed. And Slasher's gonna lose it, and so does everybody else on Boston. Snoopy, the hero in the search and destroy, finds the timing again to get behind enemy lines. And what does he decide to do with this play? On the zone, he goes after he gets the kill. And so for Vegas, they are so far out of the picture. Snoopy, again, it's 1v1 gunfights that if he can pull these off, the opportunity is there. The timing's not going to go his way. There's the trade from Purge. So Vegas staying ahead of the game on defense, making sure no funny business is rolling through.
Boston have to be careful here, though. For all they have made progress over towards this A side, a lot of time has been wasted. You don't really have a lot going on over towards B. The lives are not in your favor either. Can they find a potential route through here? If you're Vegas Legion, again, they are still heading over towards this A side. Really good job from Boston. Managing to get more progress coming on through, but Vegas Legion, you need to hold this down, and they are still having success at B, but they are having no success over towards A. This is going to go. Priestess locked it down, and they've just chipped away at it if you're Boston. Vegas Legion, have they crumbled at the wrong time yet?
Well, still, you can defend the B zone as well, right? A is much more difficult, but you can still clutch up on defense. But Boston have done the hard work, right? They've done the more difficult thing. You're still pretty fresh on the life count as well. 14 is plenty to work with, and you get pressure up the map, and Snoopy's finding the kills. This is Operation Stay Alive right now. If you get a 3-man down, yes, you stack the point, and, well, that's not going to be quite the moment. 2 on it for the second. You got to watch these flanks.
Crew's coming in. We'll take down Slasher, and is that now the opportunity for Vegas Legion to pounce? 55 seconds remaining. Lives truly in the advantage for Vegas Legion. Now everything just comes to a stop, which is going to work out for the defensive team, you would like to think, in Vegas Legion. Shots come through from Purge are good onto Snoopy. Asim can't get out after that kill into Geo as well. Still presence here for Boston Breach. They needed Asim to stay alive.
Oh, there you go.
Done, and everybody else has done a fantastic job over on the other side of the map, and all of a sudden this push in over towards the B side, starting to look good. Purge the only one here who can really slow this down. Everybody else from Vegas Legion in off the respawn. They have to get there fast.
Oh, and Asim still playing cutoff as well. Being annoying, slowing him down. Is that going to be enough to help Snoopy? Feeling the pressure, going to back off the zone. 30 seconds left. You don't have a lot of time to play with for Boston. They're waiting for the reinforcements to roll through. Priesta electing to go on the flank as well. Nero shuts it down. Snoopy up top. He's 1 HP. Boston are struggling to get this done.
Oh, it's been so tough. It's been looking so likely, but Slasher's the only one who can find a kill, and he gets punched to death from a touch. Vegas Legion looking like they're going to hold on. One more opportunity for Boston Breach. Priesta needs to find a route through. The stun comes through, so does the utility. 7 seconds, gotta get a touch. Purge with the first kill onto Snoopy, and this might just be the dagger as Nero gets the cut over from Dark Side. It's one player left. He is dealt with. Round number 5. We eventually go. Oh, that got stressful for Legion for just a second, but they managed to hold on.
And this is like a big W, small W kind of moment for these teams. Maybe the good news for Boston, Purge did have to invest that cruise missile, so that massive piece of utility no longer on the table. That is a small W for Boston, but for Vegas, that's just a hard commitment. They never like fully committed to defending A. They'd consistently send 1 player back, maybe 2, to try to get him off the zone. And I mean, as you pointed out, Ton, just the chipping away effect that Boston had is good enough for one zone. But because Vegas never overcommitted, they always had players over pushed up towards B, over by Square, over by Tractor, getting these cutoff kills. Still able to ice up. So big moments for Vegas, and Nero having a great game as well. Him and Purge right next to each other in the kills column, and another split push right now for Boston. Kills going their way, trades back and forth, but the A zone not looking very open. Priest are gonna fall, and we go back to the old standard. B-zone going to be slow and attached, doesn't want to give it away, and he's not going to make it easy. He finds the extra kills, and now for Boston, again, you might just be stuck in your spawn.
Yeah, Vegas Legion very much concentrating on a few more members towards that A side when things do get up and running, but now all of a sudden everyone's over towards B, and they are forcing Boston Breach back. Closebone's going to start coming on through. Attach needs to try and hold it, but if he does, it could be massive for Vegas Legion. 2-0 up in this series on defensive side, but it comes down to invasion. Is everything you could possibly want. Good shots coming through from Nero, but not quite good enough to finish it off, and it looks as if Boston Breach are going to find a little route through here. Seems going to find a way onto the point. The kill's starting to fall their way, but falling their way as they're backing up towards their spawn. For all Vegas Legion lose those gunfights, not the end of the world.
Well, if I'm Geo, I'm calling the cruise missile off spawn. Yeah, absolutely. They're going to be stacking the point. Everybody's going to have to scatter. 42 seconds left on the game clock for the moment, but the time is going to tick down. You might not get a kill, but you got a double flank rolling through for Boston. Can you even read this in the moment? They just have pressure all over the map. Purge wins the gunfight, not just 1, but 2 on the flank. Last player standing for Boston on the zone. Priest and Slasher for the moment are delivering, but the pressure is still very much on.
Oh, Slasher's just done such a good job. That first gunfight was massive, and he finds it. And alongside of it, you get that extra time to get yourself over towards this A side. Starting to find some kills, but it's only Asim who can do so. Priest here with a bit of map control. The only thing is for Vegas Legion here, you have been forced back, but that's a big kill from Nero. Can lock it down over towards that side, but he's only alive momentarily. Priest finds it, so mid-map control still being fought over. Pushing and pulling between each other. Perch might be in trouble here, and all of a sudden there's an opportunity now for Boston. If they can get across the road, you're going to have to lock it down. If you're Geo, you need to find something. You find absolutely nothing. Boston have a way through. They're inside of it.
They're only one body though, right? They're still playing for the cutoff kills. Priesta wasn't able to make it over, and Nero wins another gunfight in these clutch moments. Holding the cross, it's only good enough for damage. The man inside the zone is gonna fall. Boston get wiped out, and the one moment that might have had gets stuffed. They gotta recollect, and I mean, give it the old college try, but Vegas have been clean on defense. 42 seconds left of game clock.
That felt like a moment in this series that really could define it. Or a Boston breach gonna make something of this push. Slasher is able to find one. The flag's starting to come through. Dealt with by Purge, who is just chilling out right now if he can. Geo on the point. Boston poised to try and find something, but Geo just ain't missing right now. Boston get cleared again. Priesta the only one over towards the backside. Slasher will find one on the other after respawn. You gotta get rid of Priesta here. If you're Vegas Legion, but if you're Priesta, you've got to find something, and then everything else, you are the only one who can be anywhere near to try and find a push. He's going to find one kill, going to try and hold his angle if he can, but Purge might just have stuck the final dagger in. Vegas Legion, can you hold it? Boston, you got to get the touch. No chance at all. Vegas Legion clutch up 3-0. Convincing in map number 2. Close maps in 1 and 3. But in the end, Vegas Legion sweep Boston. Very, very easy game in the end, apparently, from the kill cams and the cams towards the end as well from Legion, but they will be feeling good about that. Boston had your chances, did not take them.
And who doesn't love a good old defensive shootout on Invasion? What might have been the longest control game of the year. Vegas on point. The number of clutch gunfights, by the way, that Nero had in that game alone, pretty outstanding, in all honesty. And Purge was right there with them in the slaying category. I mean, everybody for Vegas on point. Geo got a cruise missile at one point. Purge got a cruise missile at one point. Able to really stack the odds in your favor. And really not too much to say about the stats on Boston. You just got dished out extra offensive rounds. There's only so much that you can do. But in a battle between these two teams with so much on the line, it is Vegas that come out on top. They might very well have just guaranteed themselves winner's bracket going into the new main.